friends, I'm Anita and I'm back with another video. Today I want to share with you a weekly wrap up of the things that I have been reading over the past week, as I usually do. Over the past week I managed to finish 3 books, so that's definitely fine. Let's get into what I read and what I thought of them. The first thing I finished over the week was Squire, Terence and his Maiden Night by Gerald Morris. This is the first book in Squire's Tale series. This is an Arthurian retelling fantasy book. It follows Terence, who becomes a squire sort of for this guy called Gawain, and Gawain is not at this point in time a knight of Arthurian, one of his knights. But he is going to ask to become one of his knights, and he's actually, I think, Arthur's nephew, if I remember correctly. And on the way there, they also meet another knight who also goes and asks for a spot in Arthur's knight people. And it goes from there. It's a very vague description of the book, but it is a lot of fun. It is I think if you need books to be more in-depth and showing things that happen surrounding them, it's not the best book for that. It is just a lot of fun, just quite quick to get on with things and explaining things very sort of surface level. So you have to be aware of that. But it's a very humorous book as well, so I definitely like that. I think that some of the humor sometimes reminded me a little bit of Terry Pratchett, but I don't want to say that too much, because there's I mean, I feel like Terry Pratchett has a little more depth to his humor than Gerald Morris has at this point, at least. But I like this fun little story. They were on a quest to find, there's something about a rabbit and a doe kind of character, not character, but animals, magical beings, animals that needs to be found, and they go on a quest to find them, and on the way a lot of things happen, and Terence has finds things out about himself that he didn't know about, and obviously so in that way, it is a super quick read. It's very funny, and I enjoyed it. I think I give it 4 out of 5 stars. It's not a favorite thing I've ever read, but I definitely enjoyed my time with it, and I'm definitely looking forward to reading on in the series. So in that way, I think it was a pretty good success. So if you like Arthurian retellings, I think this is a really good one. So I think you would possibly like it. It definitely has a lot of fun little gimmicks and little stories around here, and you're introduced to a lot of the important characters. So in that way, it was definitely really good. The next thing that I finished was this Duchess of Mine by Eloisa James. This is the 5th book in the Desperate Duchess series, and in this one we are finally following the romance between Gemma and Elijah. See, I'm not really good with the names. Elijah the Duke of Beaumont and Gemma the Duchess of Beaumont. They were married, and we know they were married a long time ago, before this series started, and there's a sort of, and they've sort of been separated over the time, and trying to find back in love with each other, because they actually really do care about the other one, but it feels like one of the other one doesn't really want to make an effort to actually, I mean, the Duke doesn't want to make an effort to actually make this work, because he's sick and he has a death sentence upon him, so he didn't want to cause too much heartache by becoming too involved with Gemma, I mean our leading lady. And so it ends up becoming a little bit more of them trying to find out what is going on with him, and if there's anything they could do about his sickness and stuff. And then there's obviously some fun little things as well. It's definitely not my favorite. I think it's actually my least favorite in the series. I'm happy we got the results and the finally got her happy ending, if you will, the romance between those two, because it's been a long time coming. They've been a big part of the other books as well. So I'm happy that in that way it got it resolved. But I think I give it 3 out of 5 stars, so it's definitely not my favorite in the series. But I do hope that it gets better as the books goes. Eloisa James is definitely one of those authors that doesn't just stick to the one storyline. You also have a lot of other characters that you're following and a little bit into their romantic endeavors. Yeah, but anyway, what I tried to say is that Eloisa James definitely is a bit unorthodox in her romance writing style, that she has more than one set of pairings, potential pairings in the same book, and you're following a lot of other characters than the romantic couple. And I think I prefer giving more time to the couple themselves, the main couple instead, and then give them more focus when it's their book rather than this, because I feel like it takes some of the enjoyment out of actually being part of this romance that's evolving, if you get what I mean. But in that way, she's definitely different than others. So if you don't mind that, I think this would be a series that you would enjoy. But if you don't, then I would stay clear of it, because it's definitely a lot of that. But I do like the writing style is decent. It's just that the structure of the plot and the characters in this one, and it didn't really work for me. So yeah, anyway, let's get on with the last and final book that I finished, because the last and final book that I finished over the week was Undercover Justice by Nico Rosso. This is I thought it was a standalone, but it's actually a sequel to the other book I read by Nico Rosso previously. I read Renegade Protector back with my category romance vlog that I did back in, I think it was March that I did this, and I didn't really love that one, but it was something to do, they have this yeah, they're called Frontier Justice, and that's sort of the sort of team thing that was created in the first book, Undercover Justice, and this is sort of a sequel to that one. We're following one of the other characters from this place, and she's going undercover at this driving team who's driving trafficking kids and stuff, and they're working for seven syndicate, yeah. And they are the bad guys here, and the ones that are trafficking, but they're paying this driving company to move people around. And so she's going undercover to try and sabotage this thing and give as much information to the FBI, to the people of this unit. And our main lead, he is a mechanic of some sort, and he had his best friend was part of this driving group, and then he passed away. He was killed by one of the people from this team, and he's on a revenge plot. So he wants to take revenge, but he's also undercover in that way. So he's disguising, saying he wants to help out, and yeah. And then there's their romance, and I really did not care for this book at all. I thought it was the most boring thing I've ever read, more or less. I didn't like the romance too much, and I definitely didn't like the structure of the writing style. It just didn't do anything. I wasn't intrigued, so it's in the intrigue line. So I ended up giving it 2 out of 5 stars. I definitely don't recommend it, and I think that maybe Nico Rosso is just not my author, because there was something off with the other one as well. I mean, that was better than this one, but this one definitely didn't work for me one bit. So yeah, those are the things that I finished over the past week. Now let's talk a little bit about the things that I've been working on. First up, I am still working on both of these. I haven't really touched any of them since then, because this is a body read with Shannon, and I was waiting for her to catch up, and I saw that she has now, but I haven't moved on. So yeah, I will probably get to that over the week. I haven't touched this one at all, so it's also sort of stagnated just there. I am currently working my way through Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir, which I'm so far enjoying, but I've only read the first 94 pages, so I have more or less 80% left of it, just about. What else? I've also started an audio of A Murder is Announced by Agatha Christie, and I am I want to say 40% into that. I listened to almost 2 hours of it. It's not super long. I started it today, so I'm looking forward to completing it, finishing it. I'm enjoying this one more than the previous one, so hopefully it'll stay on this pattern and I'll be very happy with it. So yeah, those are the things that I've been working on. I'm currently working on over the week. I've also been working on Not So Nice Guy by R.S. Gray, but I'm really not very far into it because every time I pick it up, it's in the evening before I go to bed, and apparently I've been very tired, so I don't even read very many pages before I fall asleep. So I probably have read 10 to 11%. I'm not even sure about this. But it's a friends to lovers romance, so that's what I know so far. They are colleagues at work, both teachers, and have sort of, both of them had a crush on the other but didn't want to get into that when they met, because they were both involved with other people, and so they both have a perception of what the other person says and thinks about a partner and stuff, and didn't feel like they fit, so they'd rather just be friends and just like that. So yeah, that's where we're at. I don't know if I'm going to like this one. It's definitely the one that hasn't, the only book that hasn't really grabbed me from the beginning at this point. So we'll see what happens, but I also, as I said, have been very tired, so it just could be that. Anyway, these are the things that I've been working on over the past week and finished over the past week. Let me know in the comments down below what you've been reading in the past week. Have you read in the books that I've been talking about today, and what were your thoughts on them? And yeah, what were your favorite thing that you've read recently? Let me know about that in the comments down below as well. And if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video very, very soon. Goodbye.